What's going down, everybody? This is Shades of Soul, and today we're going to be talking about Black exploitation films. Black exploitation films are a subgenre of films that star Black characters and are set in and around the Black community. Now, these films reflect true elements of the Black community, such as the way we dress, the cars we drive, and the way we spoke. But these films are not without controversy. The stereotypical characters, such as pimps, hustlers, prostitutes, and drug dealers, were thought by some to highlight negative aspects of the Black community, and the portrayal of these characters were thought to be detrimental overall to the Black community and to the moving forward of the Black community. So let's get into it. Number 5 is Cotton Comes to Harlem. 1970's Cotton Comes to Harlem is co-written and directed by Ossie Davis, and it was based on the novel of the same name that was written by Chester Himes. The premise of this film is that a reverend slash con man, he is selling shares to buy a boat named Black Beauty. And Black Beauty is going to take all Black people back to Africa. And he's having this rally and people are outside and he's getting them riled up. And while at the rally, a meat truck pulls up and men jump out and stick it up. And they steal all of the donations, which come to about $87,000. Now this brings in the two detectives, Gravedigger Jones and Coffin Ed. And they come and they try to find the money so they can return it to the people. This film is the most commercially successful film of the 70s that starred Black people. And it came out in 1970. Imagine that. Imagine coming out at the beginning of the decade, setting the standard, and then not being touched the entire decade. Ossie Davis is a beast. This is the first Black exploitation action film, and it is action-packed. And it's hilarious. Red Fox is Uncle Bud, and it has a very good ending. This film is a cult classic. Number 5, Cotton Comes to Harlem.
18 months ago, I was down on my knees in the white man's jail. Yes. I wasn't down on my knees in the jailhouse to pray. I wasn't even down on my knees to shoot crap. Deco O'Malley was down on his knees in the white man's jail cleaning out the white man's toilet bowl. Oh, yeah. So I asked the Lord to help me, to show me the way. And bless my soul, he did. The Lord come to me in a dream. He said, Dick, I want to use you like I use no other. He said, Dick, I want you to build a block and sail my people home. And there she is, Black Beauty. Are you black enough to hear me? Amen. For 3 months now, in Detroit, Chicago, Los Angeles, Baltimore, Washington, people have been standing in line, waiting and waiting for a chance to get on board Black Beauty. Because, brothers, we are going home. Goodbye, rats and roaches. Goodbye, being kicked in live on the white man's welfare. We are going home.
Number 4 is MMA. MMA was written, directed, and produced by Jamal Fanaka while he was still attending UCLA. Fanaka is a part of the LA Rebellion. Now, the LA Rebellion started in the late 60s and it continued into the early 70s. And it ushered in a new generation of black filmmakers, and they all attended UCLA. The story of MMA is she's a Southern girl who comes to LA to live with her family after her mom dies. She meets a man, they get involved in a relationship. It's a bad relationship. He goes to jail, and to raise bail for him, she plans to rob a bank. Now, she eventually gets her revenge for all the stuff he takes her through, and man, when she does, boy oh boy. Now, there are some very strong women characters that I could have put in this slot, like Cleopatra Jones or Foxy Brown. But the difference between those women and MMA is that they're always strong. They know their worth. They're not going to take it from you. They're not going to have it, and they're going to put you in your place. MMA is full circle. She goes from being a naive girl to a strong woman who ultimately finds her voice. Number 4 is MMA.
You can go slick.
Sarah, get back in this bed.
I said you can go slick.
Get your ass back in this bed. What shit is this? You got all these dumbass niggas scared of you around here? What you trying to do, make a fool out of me or something?
Make a fool out of yourself, Jess. Everything I did for you. I did it because I love you. Thought you felt the same way about me.
Me? Love you? Bitch, you got to be crazy. I use you. You're a toy, bitch. A freak. You got a face only a mother could love, and she died so she wouldn't have to look at it no more. You get your big country, greasy ass back to the country where you belong.
You're right, Jess. You're always right. I'm going back to the country.
Yeah, you do that.
Because if you're all the city has to offer, I feel sorry for all of you. But before I go, I'm going to show you you're nothing even at your own game. I'm going to kick your ass.
But you hit me! You hit Jesse, bitch! I kill you, motherfucker! Hey, fool! You better go back to the country. The city gonna kill you, crazy ass girl. Hey! Hey, G! Hey, fool! Who let this damn fool in here? Come on! Shit! You ain't come in and get this old crazy. Hey, man! Y'all sneak in here! Ah!
Number 3 is Superfly. 1972 Superfly was written by Philip Fincy and directed by Gordon Parks Jr. It tells the story of young blood Priest, who along with his partner Eddie have $300,000. Priest wants to take the $300,000 and buy 30 kilos of cocaine, flip it in 4 months, and then Priest wants to retire flat out from the game. Superfly grossed $24 million at the box office, and it was scored by Curtis Mayfield. Now let me explain the difference between a score and a soundtrack. A soundtrack just has various artists who are selected to be on the project, and the song may or may not appear in the film. A score is when a director gives a script to a musician and they write songs based 100% off the script. And that's how you get songs like Freddie's Dead and Pushin' Man. The score, 100% outstanding from start to finish, and I'm sure it's one of the major reasons that the film is so popular. Now, one of the major reasons that I selected Superfly is because Superfly is the embodiment of Black exploitation films, the good and the bad. On one hand, you have Priest, who is a pimp and a drug dealer and who snorts coke from a cross-shaped spoon. But you also have introspective Priest, who knows that his days are numbered in this game. He can't keep living like this. He's either going to have to hurt somebody or somebody is going to have to hurt him. So maybe that comes from years of him being an OG in the game, or maybe Priest just wants better for himself. Number 3 is Superfly.
I'm getting out, Eddie.
Getting out of what?
The cocaine business.
Oh, sweet Jesus, man. Those junkies must have knocked a hole in your head. You gonna give all this up? 8-track stereo, color TV in every room, and can snort a half a piece of dope every day. That's the American dream, nigga. Well, ain't it? Ain't it? You better come on in, man.
How much money we got, Eddie?
About 300,000. That's 150 each. It's about enough to keep your nose open for about a year. I know it's a rotten game. It's the only one the man left us to play. And that's the stone cold truth.
What do you do when you get out?
I don't know. Not so much what we do, it's having a choice. Being able to decide what it is I want. Not just to be forced into a thing because that's the way it is. Gonna buy me some time, baby. Some time that isn't all fucked up with things we gotta do. Just to be free.
And will that make you happy?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know I can't be happy the way it is now. I never was.
Number 2 is The Spook That Sat by the Door. This is a cinematic classic masterpiece. Let's start with the title. The title refers to Black people being hired at companies due to affirmative action and being placed by the interests of the company. So everybody walking past can see how racially mixed the company was. The term spook is a racial slur for a Black person, but it's also a term that means spy. Okay. The CIA has to start recruiting and training Black people due to some political issues. Now, they don't think that any of the Black people are going to actually make it. Any of these Black men will actually make it. But Dan Freeman does. He makes it completely through the training, and they make him top secret reproduction section chief. a fucking copy boy. He stays under the radar for 5 years. He retires from the CIA. He goes back to Chicago. He organizes the local gang, and they start a fucking revolution. Now, this movie had to mostly be shot in Gary, Indiana, because Richard J. Daley did not agree with the premise of this movie. This movie is a cinematic classic, and it's sad. It is sad that this movie came out in 1973, and it is still reflective of how Black people are being treated not only in the workplace, but in this society. Number 2, the spook that sat by the door.
How long since you've been in bed?
Not since the riot started.
That was 3 nights ago, man.
Yeah, I know. Catnap when I can.
When did the National Guard come in?
Late last night. All white.
I noticed.
Yeah, the people didn't dig it when they woke up this morning and found the troops were here.
What do you think they'll do?
I can't see them trying to fight the army.
They didn't mind fighting police?
Yeah. I never seen them like that.
Well, maybe that badge has put distance between you and them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot. The pigs over here and the people over there. And never the twain shall meet, huh? Hey, man, I grew up down here, too. And I know these people. Now, there were some good people out there in the streets the last few nights. Not just hoodlums, like they say in the newspapers.
In a scene like this, anybody can get involved.
But that's only going to make it worse. We have to maintain law and order, or we might as well be back in the jungles.
Does. The ghetto is a jungle, always has been. Understand, you cannot cage people like animals and not expect them to fight back someday. It has always been an army occupation here, with police badges and uniforms. Huh? You and me, a cop and a social worker, we are keepers of this goddamn zoo.
The streets have to be safe.
Safe for who? You're here to protect property, not lives.
Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? You worked hard to get what you got, didn't you? And you want to keep it just like I do?
Bullshit. Listen, you think because you got a badge and I got a couple of degrees, that makes a difference? Do you know what white folks call people like you and me in private? Niggas, dolls. Niggas.
Number 1 is Sweetback's badass song. Sweetback was written, co-produced, edited, scored, directed, and starred Melvin Van Peebles. Now, studios would not give him money to finance this film, so he funded it himself. He shot it over 19 days, and with a $50,000 loan from Bill Cosby, he finished it. Now, he didn't have any money for advertising, but Earth, Wind, and Fire performed the score. So he released the score before the movie to generate some buzz for the movie. Now, this is considered the first Black exploitation film ever. This set the standard for the genre. And his character is loved by many, but he does have some critics. Now, there are critics to say the character was over-sexual and that he romanticized the ghetto. But there are other people who praised Van Peebles' complete creative control of the process from start to finish, and his without him relying on the studios at all. And they praised the fact that it was a reflection of the cultural reality at the time. It inspired a generation of filmmakers, and it definitely inspired me. Number 1, Sweetback's badass song. What's going down, everybody? Okay, so stay tuned after the last clip goes off so you can see my Black exploitation movie that I wrote and directed. The name of it is Coco Dynamite. It came out in March of 2000. It is the very first movie I ever made. I shot it on a video camera and I edited it on 2 VCRs. I am amazed that it's a cohesive story, but I love it. It's my first film, and it's a Blaxploitation film.
What's the matter with you? You're drunk.
Oh, he looks like a sniper to me.
Thanks, man. Where are we going? Where you get that wee shit?
Coco better come on. Man, these fellas make it too easy for me. Here they come. I'ma blow your mind. Right on, Mom. Hey, you up, Coco? Hey, my neighbors called the fuzz again. Have a seat, Turkey. Look, man, my mama can't find out about this. Man, she knows the drill. Hand it over, Coco. You too. But you need to find some smarter tricks. But you think you can get some out. Yeah. Situations like this, good love, easy time. But you keep driving. No money, no honey, so hit the road, Tommy. Get out of my room. Here's your bread, Catfish. Cool, Mom. Because I don't want to have to fuck you up. But dude, how you got keep up for me and teach you and, box the kids and watch the back? Catfish, I don't know. Hand it over the door. Man, do you know who I am? Fuck that guy, too, kid. I'm taking this dope. You too, Coffee. Fuck this. I'm going back to Telemar. Take your ass wrong, the boy. Pull it off, Mama Daisy. Not quite. Oh, shit. Fuck on. Let's make it, Coco. Hold up, let's go.